everyone, it's Sandy Diana. I got something in the mail this week. I'm so excited. I ordered my first Mighty Hoop, and based on the recommendation of Angela Jasmina, she said that she used the 8x9 hoop 90% of the time. So since this is my first one and they are pricey, however, I wanted to buy the best one. So I got the 8x9 hoop, and hopefully I will use it 90% of the time also. Anyway, I went ahead and I opened it because when it came in, if you notice, my box has a little damage section right there. So my husband's like, you better open that right away. And so I did. Anyway, I'm going to move the camera to where I'm going to position it. I'm going to position it where the Mighty Hoop is so that you can see it. And I'm going to show what it looks like on the inside. And I had some questions from other people about what kind of Mighty Hoop I ordered, because I do not have a Melco or a Ricoma or a Brother. I have an AvaNCE 1501C 2020, and so they don't really list that one up there. However, I have been told that when I order things to use the brand Tahima, and it's comparable. I think they're probably the same machines, just with different names. I really don't know. Anyway, but I was told to use that. Anyway, they did reach out to me after I ordered it, and they gave me a little survey. They wanted to make sure that I had a 15 needle machine or a multi-needle machine. They also wanted to know the exact brand that I had to make sure that whatever I ordered did match. I really appreciated that. They got back to me immediately, and that afternoon after I confirmed everything, they shipped it right out to me. I had it in 2 days. Amazing service and shipment, so I was so excited. Anyway, so I opened it up, and here it is. And I wanted to go ahead and I'll just use this on the video, but I wanted to make sure, I think I'm going to actually take a picture of it, because what I want to do is make sure that I always know which direction to put the hoop, because I understand that that's also a challenge, is to make sure that you know the direction. So I figured this is the way it came. This must be the way you put it always. So I'm going to take a picture within the video. I hope that worked. Do it one more time. Okay. Otherwise, I can just look at the video. So I watched, who did I watch? I watched Ashley, is it Ashley or Alicia? Oh, I'm so sorry. The So Crafty teacher. I think that's what it was. Anyway, she was showing how to take this apart to where it would be easy, and I hope it's going to be easy to get apart. I do need to cut my stabilizer, so I'm going to reach in here and get me a piece of stabilizer. I'm only going to use to create a sample, mostly because I don't want to use my good stuff right now. I want to just use what I have, and I'm going to actually do this on a sweatshirt. I'm not even going to use my my applique fabric, but this is what I want to picture to sew out on a sweatshirt. So I'm going to practice on this piece of leftover t-shirt, and because I messed it up and it was no recovery. Anyway, I'm going to stitch it out, and I've already printed my picture out, so I do know that it fits with inside of my hoop, and I've already got it loaded up on my machine. And that, of course, is not the color that I'm planning to do it with, but I am going to stitch it out with that. So I'm going to first lay my roll out and get my stabilizer situated. Cut it. And of course, I brought the smallest scissors over here possible, but hey, they're sharp. Just slide right through. All right, this is cutaway. I ordered this roll from Amazon. I use a lot of this size with my other hoops that I have with my machine, so I wanted to make sure it was big enough to where I could use it with that. So it's the perfect size for this 8x9 hoop. So it's 8 inches tall and 9 inches wide. I've already tested it to make sure that it does indeed fit my machine. So I want to, I've seen other people, let's see, I wanted to make sure it would fit before I put it on the video because I don't want to have a mishap of that happening. Anyway, I've seen other people where they do t-shirts and they put their actual garment in the Mighty Hoop and then they slide the stabilizer in afterwards. I'm still not sure how that works. So I haven't really tried that. So Alicia said you twist it or you break it loose from right here. I don't really want to break it. I hope I'm strong enough. Oh, there you go. Push it. That's good. Okay. So all right, so I've already got it upside down. I want to make sure I have it this direction and this direction. Okay, so it's small at the bottom and the large at the top. Okay, so I'm gonna sit this over here while I position this. I did not get one of those frame things. That was another $50. I should have just bit the bullet and did it, but I didn't. So that might be another investment later. So I'm gonna lay my fabric on top of that. Now, it's supposed to just do its thing. You don't even, and I'm not even gonna try to center this fabric because it really isn't anything. I'm just going to, okay, so I'm gonna make sure that I have my warning at the top, my pinch at the bottom, and it did it. Oh my goodness. Y'all don't know how much of a struggle it is. And it's tight as a drum. Do you hear that? Man, that is so cool. I know, y'all, if you don't really use embroidery hoops, I mean, well, if you're watching this video, you do. But this is so cool. I'm glad I don't use a pacemaker, but that is so cool. I have other magnetic hoops. I'm going to show you the set that I did buy from the company when I bought them. And these don't, they're strong. And when I'm doing small things, they're great. And I have pinched myself. Trust me, they will give you a blood blister and make you bleed right away. But I have a variety of sizes, and these are ones that I did. But I will say that they're not locked into your fabric the way that just locked it into the fabric. So this is amazing. But I do use these for smaller items, and I will continue using those. But I'm going to twist you around now. I'm going to go ahead and, I already know that this is going to fit. I don't really even have to cut my design out to know. When I get ready to actually do it, I like to cut it out because I like to put that, make sure that that is in the center mark to where that's not crooked, because otherwise your design is going to be crooked, and I like to pinpoint that with my needle. So having said that, I'm going to move over to my machine and I'm going to turn the camera, and hopefully I'm not going to make you seasick. I want to turn the camera to where you're going to be able to have a good view. Now what I have done is my frame, I don't have this frame in my settings. So I have just the machine frame settings. I can add different frame settings to here, but I haven't learned how to do that. So I'm gonna lock it in place. Lock it in place. Make sure that you guys could see that just now. Lock that in place, and you can see indeed that it does fit. And I might move you this way because I want you to see that actually stitch out. Get my light out of the way. This camera stuff, man. I am not a camera person. Oh, by the way, there's nothing wrong with this. I didn't break it, but I changed the needle in this one, so I labeled it so I would know which one I changed the needle in. And this is a 65-9 needle for the 60 weight thread. So I wanted to make sure I knew which needle was in there. Anyway, so I'm going to move my frame. Okay, I've got all my colors set. I just want to see how it stitches out too, because I don't want to mess up my sweatshirt in the event that I don't have it where I want it. So I'm going to move it down some. And I will tell you, always trace out your pattern. The default is always on 8 on this machine, so they always tell you to guide it to 1. And I really don't think it matters except for this reason. On my machine, it is easier to trace out a pattern. And what I do is I hold this down while I trace it out. You can do a square or a rectangle to make sure that it is within the parameter, because I'm telling you, I've broken a many a needle because it's, you know, my machine, if it messes up, it's my fault. It's operator error. Don't blame your machine when you make a mistake, because sometimes it is definitely your mistake. And maybe not always, but most of the time in my situation, it's my mistake. So I'm going to confirm my embroidery, and you can't see this screen, but I'm going to confirm the embroidery. I'm going to close that window, and then I can watch it stitch out over here. And I'm going to push the button, and I have not used this file, so I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm going to just test it out and see what happens. And I will probably fast forward through this part because you don't need to see. I do have my settings like at 500, and it can go faster. I'm from Virginia, obviously. This is the outline of my state of Virginia. And I've seen other shirts like this, and I wanted to create one. The one part that they don't have on here is they don't have the outline of the Eastern Shore, which is, now that is your placement stitch. I'm sorry, they don't have the Eastern Shore on here, which is definitely a big part of Virginia, but it's not connected to this. So I'm just going to live with it that I don't have it. But anyway, that's your placement stitch. Like I said, I'm not going to waste my applique fabric because this is just an example. And I'll use because I'm going to make my own sweatshirt. So I'll just use my real sweatshirt as the example that I would sell to people with rather than this. This is just because I want to make sure it stitches out before I waste it on my clothes. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and pretend like I've already put my fabric there, which I haven't. And now it's going to do the sew down stitch for your fabric. I can just tell you, I wished I had bought this a long time ago. So Cindy Moncada, I understand why you ordered all of the Mighty Hoop frames for your new Ricoma. I would have also if I had known how good this was. I have fast frames. I have round frames. It came with 2 sets of round frames. Okay, now so that would be the one where you would cut your fabric and you trim your fabric. I've seen a lot of people when they do this, when they do an applique, they don't trim their fabric, and then they go and do their satin stitch, and then they wonder why they've got a frayed look. This is why you have a frayed look. Now is the time you trim it, and you try to trim it as close to this stitching as you can, leaving no extra edge, not a lot of extra edging on it. You don't want to cut the thread, but you don't want to leave a lot of extra because you want your satin stitch to go over it. So if you're wondering why your appliques don't look clean, it's because you're not trimming it at this stitch. So I'm going to pretend like I just trimmed. Push it again. And this time it should start doing the under stitch of the zigzag. Even this stitch, don't wait until after this one, because this is sometimes going to reach out as far as what your satin stitch is going to reach out. And it's still going to make it look like it's frayed. Can you see? It has VA all over it, and it's got those colors, and it's got the pink and the gray. Who knows, I might use this one as a sample also without having an applique background. It might look really good with just the black background. I will tell you what I am noticing is that there's no puckering. I'm not getting any pull on my fabric. There's no puckering going on. That might be a game changer on that with this frame as well. You can't see where the cutout is with the river, but I live about right there on the stitching. Usually if you start breaking a thread like that, it's because you've worn your eye of your needle out. And I don't know if you knew that that was possible, but you can wear your eye of your needle out from so much stitching. It literally will wear out the inside of your needle. So if you start breaking threads like that, it's time to change the thread. Now, I'm going to lay that flat, and then I'm going to back my machine up to the beginning of that color because I know it started, it made that funny noise when it first started. I don't know if you paid attention to it. So I'm going to back it back up to the beginning, and I'm going to start that whole thread all over again, and it'll just stitch right over top of it. And I have one heart that is pink, the same outline pink, and then I have one heart that is the light shade pink. I will tell you, I'm all about the pink because I am a breast cancer survivor, so I use it as an opportunity to share with others that make sure that you do what you need to protect your health. Not that I did protect my health. However, I had what is called known as dense breast tissue, and dense breast tissue you can't see through. And so anyway, I had several different tests, and they all came up inconclusive. And my doctor said, you determine whatever is in that mass of dense breast tissue. Use whatever test that you have possible. So they used a special test called molecular imaging with a BSGI machine, breast specific gamma imaging, and it found the tumor, and it can find a tumor smaller than 0.5 millimeters, and it can see it even before an MRI can. So if somebody tells you that you're to see it, let's wait and see what happens, please don't wait and see. There are other machines out there that can see it right now, and it may save your life. And in my situation, that saved my life, because had they had a wait and see approach, it would have been devastating for me, and my outcome would have been so much different. And now I am a 9-year survivor. This is going to be the easiest way for me to do it. And you push, hold this tab and push the frame. And then you get it loose. All right. So I'm going to do what they did. I saw this where they flip them backwards instead of putting it back together. That way you're not going to, that's what I've seen. And there's the stitch out. Okay, so what I'm really loving is the fact that it is not puckered at all. So I have had in the past puckering issues on different ones, even on the hoops where you put it in the hoop and you have to tie that hoop down, and it's not a lot of mess up on the back. I will say I watched a video the other day and I watched Angela, the way she flipped hers and she cut her cutaway off of it. She went as close as she could, but she had it to where whatever she's working on falls away from where you're cutting so that you don't cut your shirt. I have cut my shirt. Now, when I get around here, because that's like this, I'm going to want to pull that away because I don't want that, all that extra. Because I think it does show. Now I'm not going to worry about going and heat and press this because there's no heat and bond on the back. I've already did the heat and bond on the back of my fabric. All right, so like I said, move this out of the way. I can easily turn this into a sample. That is so super cute. So if I wanted to, let's see, I wanted to make it look like a shirt. Like on your shirt, I don't want any of that to stick up. Now, you know what's going to happen as soon as I turn this over. If I'm going to use this as a sample, all of my hard work of just keeping it all lined up is going to fall away. And hopefully I got it adjusted correct direction. All right, so that's a cute little sample ready to be photographed. What do y'all think? All right, post it in the comments, and thanks for joining my video. If you like this video and you want to see more, please definitely please like my video if you watched my video. Thank you for watching it. And if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel, Sandy Diana. See you later. Bye.